أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. ما يهد الله فلا مضل له وما يضلل له فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. Praise be to Allah. We seek His help and His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the evil of our own souls and our bad deeds. Whomsoever Allah guides will not be led astray, and whomsoever Allah gives a string one can guide. I bear witness that there is no one worthy of worship except Allah. He is one, He has no partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His servant and messenger. Or you believe fear Allah as He should be feared and die not except in a state of Islam. Or you believe keep your duty to Allah and fear Him and speak always the truth. He, Allah, will direct righteous deeds and will forgive your sins. And whosoever obeys Allah and His messenger has indeed achieved a great achievement. Brothers and sisters, as I stand here before you, I want to remind everything I'm saying here today is a reminder to myself first and to you secondly. And I want to begin by the two parts of a verse in Surah Al-Imran, which is chapter 3, and I'm going to look specifically at verse 190 to 191. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us in His glorious Quran al-Karim, in His glorious Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات أولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us, showing the creation of the heavens and the earth and the alternation of the night and the day, there are signs for those or for the people of understanding. And how does Allah describe the people of understanding? He says, those who remember Allah while standing, while sitting or reclining. And what do they also do? They reflect on the creation of the heavens and the earth. And when they reflect on the creations of the heaven and the earth, of the heavens and the earth, what do they say? They say, our Lord, you have not created all of this in vain. Our Lord, you have not created all of what you have here in vain. Glory to you. Save us then from the chastisement or the punishment of the fire. Abu Malik al-Harith radiallahu anhu said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, everyone starts his day as a vendor of his soul. Everyone starts his day as a vendor of his soul. He's doing one of two things. He's either freeing it or bringing about its destruction. Everyone starts his day as a seller or a trader of his soul. He's either bringing it to perfection or improving it, or he's bringing about its destruction. He's either freeing it or bringing about its destruction. Abu Dharr al-Ghifari said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is reported to have said, there is no wisdom like reflection, and there is no honor like good manners. There is no wisdom like reflection, and there is no honor like good manners. Alhamdulillah, brothers and sisters, we are here today. SubhanAllah, by Allah's mercy, we are able to come and worship Him yet another day at this blessed time. He subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with many mercies, and He's also blessed us with the tests and the challenges that He's given us. He has blessed us with the mercies of being able to be here. And I said many of my khutbahs the same, right? He's blessed us with all of these things because this reminder is important to us. That the things that He has blessed us with are numerous. We are here. We are healthy. We have clothing. We have shelter. Many of us ate before we came here today. Many of us came here in some type of comfort. We are here. It is warm. When we leave here, many of us are certain that we are going back to some place that is warm. Allah has given us many of these blessings. In spite of what we do, in spite of the ingratitude that we show, He continues to give us all of these blessings. Not because of who we are, but really only because of who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. So as we think about this, we have what we have, not really because of us, but because Allah is our Rahman. Because Allah is our Ghani. Because Allah is who He is. And I remind myself, and I remind you, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us in His Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإن تعودوا نعمة الله, what does He say after that? لا تحصوها. And if we were to try to count the favor and then He reminds us after that, إن الإنسان لظلوم كفار. That in spite of the fact that we are unable to count the blessings of Allah, in spite of this fact, we are oppressive and persistent in our ingratitude. I am not describing us like that. This is how Allah, the one who is the possessor of all knowledge, is describing us, His creation. We are persistent and oppressive in our ingratitude. As we ponder this, brothers and sisters, It should not make us despondent, but it should make us reflective. It should make us reflective on how many times have we truly shown gratitude to Allah for the things that He has given us. This year, brothers and sisters, has been a very interesting year. I want to begin by saying this. This past week, we've seen a lot of comments on 2016 has taken all of these lives. Like 2016 is this entity that is going around killing people. And I know the sentiments in which it is made, right? It's made in the sentiment of there's been a lot of death in 2016. But generally, when that is mentioned, it's mentioned in terms of celebrities and stuff like that. And that's fine. Right? That's not my issue. My issue is really in terms of us subtly ascribing power to things that have no power. So we say 2016 end already, let 2017 come, as though we know that 2017 will have less death in it. As though we know that at the start of 2017, things will suddenly be different for all of us. It is as though we forget that we still have 24 hours or so left of 2016, that ni'mah, that blessing that you are waiting for, Allah can still send it to you and make your 2016, quote unquote, a better 2016 for you. Just like on the first day of 2017, He can send you that test that makes 2017 start off less than happy or joyous for you or me. So let's refocus on what this thing is all about. This thing is about understanding who Allah is and understanding that He is the one who has the control and power over everything. And I was going to say this later on in the khutbah to bring home a certain point. But the only thing that we have control over, brothers and sisters, the only thing that we have control over will be our choices. What else do you control? The only thing you have control over are the decisions that you make. The results of those decisions, we don't even have control over those things. But the thing that you have been charged with, the thing that I have been charged with, making decisions. This is what our Islam is about. You know, we speak about all of these things that Islam is about, and all of those things have a place. But when you boil it down to brass tacks, Islam is about instilling in us, or equipping us with the right tools to make the right decisions. Everything else informs that. But Islam is about giving us the tools to make the best decisions and the right decisions that we can make while we live in this dunya. Perchance, we stand before our Lord on the day of judgment in a good state. In a state with which He is pleased. This is what our Islam is about. At a basic level. Giving us the skills to make the right decisions. As we look back at this week, brothers and sisters, there's a lot going on that has caused me to reflect on one fact. That pride prevents reflection. Pride prevents reflection. Some of us are aware of comments made by one of our beloved shuyukh, and yes, I'm going to touch on these things, by one of our beloved shuyukh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him reward for all of his service to this ummah. Ameen. At the RIS conference in Canada, some of us may be aware of the comments made and the firestorm that has ensued after that. And it has been brutal. On all sides it has been brutal. Some of us have decided to take this as an opportunity to unleash all of the ants that we have against the white man. Some of us have taken this as an opportunity to unleash all of the pent-up anger that we have against the system. Some of this has allowed some of us to take this as an opportunity to show that we are staunch defenders of a person. And some of this has caused some of us to understand that something wrong, problematic was done, and something wrong, problematic is being done by others in response to it. And it's calling some of us to call people to the carpet as they need to be called. Not because of who they are, but because of their actions. And that is okay. It is okay to critique actions. It is okay to say, no, this wasn't cool. It is okay to say, no, I am hurt by this. That's within our tradition, and that is fine. But when we go into the realm of using this as an opportunity to say this is why we should all follow, and this is no slight or to take nothing away from the wonderful work that the Nation of Islam has done in our communities, and yes, I said that. But when we take this as an opportunity to say, this is why you all need to start following them and to start following the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, this is a problem with us. Or when we use this as a sole opportunity to say, this is why we can't take anything from those Arabs, we need to take things only from us locally here, this is a problem. In addition to that, some of us may be aware of the back and forth that has been going on among some of the world leaders, whether it be the president-elect, the current president, in Russia, in Israel, wherever it is, some of us may be aware of the back and forth going on there. Some of us may even have seen the back and forth happening in the conscious movement or the Pan-African movement, where they're going at each other's throats. We have a lot going on in our community, right? Some of us may be dealing with personal issues that we are challenged with somebody in our family, somebody in our close circles, something that we're dealing with. Some of us may be doing counseling and we're seeing certain things happening in our counseling sessions. All of these things I'm touching on here, brothers and sisters, have led me back to that thing I started off with. Pride prevents reflection. For 2017, brothers and sisters, whether you make resolutions or not, It's irrelevant. You can make a choice today, since it's still 2016, to do things differently. That's with a New Year's resolution. Whether you make resolutions or not, whether you choose when to do something differently or not, my push to you, my encouragement to you, before I get into the crux of the khutbah today, is that we make a decision or conscious choice to fight pride and to engage in more reflection. This is what I'm asking us, myself first, and you second, to make a conscious choice from this point moving forward. To fight pride as much as we can, and to engage in way more reflection. Brothers and sisters, pride prevents us from reflection because it blinds us to Allah's favor upon us, and because it causes us to think of ourselves beyond who we are in the grand scheme of things. I want to first reorient us to what pride is, so that we are aware, and then I want to take us to understanding something about reflection, and then look at how they interact. Pride is destructive, brothers and sisters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us in part of Surah An-Nahl, in part of verse 23, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إنه لا يحب المتكبرين. Allah does not like those who are given to arrogance. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam reminds us that he who has as much as a faith of grain, as much faith as a grain of mustard seed, will not enter hell. He who has iman in his heart, even a small amount of iman in his heart, will not enter hell. And he who has a small amount of pride in his heart will not see the gates of paradise. So we know that, and this is just one example of it, but we know that kibr is something that prevents entry into Jannah. The whole discussion today is not about pride, but I just want to reorient us to the thing that pride is hated in Islam. For some of us who came out of Christian or Catholic traditions, we have often heard of the 7 deadly sins. Many of the scholars of Christianity, particularly Catholicism, identifies pride as a major or the most major of the 7 deadly sins. They look at it as the gateway to committing all of the other sins. Why am I mentioning this to us? In the grand scheme of things, brothers and sisters, pride is destructive, irrespective of the tradition that you're coming from. As Muslims, we have clear foundation as to why it's bad. And if we had not heard that before, if you came out of a Judeo-Christian perspective, you would have that upbringing as well. Pride is destructive. It has no place in our Islam. It blocks us from seeing Allah's signs. It's the first thing I want to tell us as to why it's destructive. It blocks us from seeing the signs of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us that if we pay attention, behold, in the heavens as well as on the earth, there are indeed messages or signs for all of those who are willing to believe. So what are these signs, brothers and sisters, that we need to keep in mind? How do signs come to us? How does Allah send His signs to us? In one of our recent discussions, we looked at the different ways in which Allah sends signs to us. And there are many of them. There are many ways that Allah sends His ayat to us. First and foremost, He sends it through what? His Quran. Secondly, He sends it through His Messenger, sallallahu. He sends it through people. He sends it through reminders, things that are just happening around us. He sends it through all of His creation that we encounter. He sends it through experiences that we have. All of these things, as we look through the Quran, we'll see that in all of these things are signs for people who believe. So all of these are ayat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reminder that comes to us, the person who comes to us, all of these things factor into that. You say something harsh to someone, and you are told that it's harsh, and your response is, well, you misunderstood what I said. You're about to commit a sin, or you commit a sin, and you're reminded about that sin, and your response is, only Allah can judge me. You're engaging with poor attitude, and you are told that you're doing so, and neglecting the rights of someone, and you say, why do you dislike me? A husband makes a decision, he's reminded that he did not consult anyone in his family when he made that decision, and he says, I am the Imam of my household. The wife does something she thought was okay, the husband tells her that no, this was not okay, and she gets upset and she shuts down. In each of these, brothers and sisters, what do we have? We have a sign. We have an opportunity to reflect. And in each of these cases, what did we choose to do? Not reflect. In each of these cases, we chose to defend why we did what we thought in that moment was the thing we should have done. Pride prevents reflection. When we stop to defend us, when we are focused on holding up that image, when we are focused on preserving the ego from a psychological perspective, when we are focused on preserving that image that we have for ourselves, there is no way we can reflect. There is no way we can sit with ourselves and say, I could have done this differently. If our focus in that moment is preserving that image that I've created for myself, which in the grand scheme of things means nothing. When we think that we are better than the idea that we think was just portrayed of us in some cases, we get hemmed up on making sure that the idea that you have of me is the idea I want you to have of me. And in many cases, in some cases, the idea could be incorrect, but in many cases, there is something that has allowed that person to get that impression of you, of me. It is something that we did that resulted in that. Reflection will allow us to see that. Pride will prevent that. So if somebody comes to us and says we are harsh, and we know that we try not to be harsh, what's the first thing we will do? I'm not harsh. How am I not harsh? Because I know I am trying not to be harsh, so there is no way that I can be harsh, because I know I am trying my best not to be harsh. Pause for a second. If I know that I have an issue with something, and someone comes to me telling me that, hey, you know what? You will be like that. If I am really reflective, and I know that I have an issue with this, will my first inclination be, that is impossible, I can never be like that? Or will my first inclination really be, you know what? Maybe I'm not working as hard as I need to work on this. Or maybe I slipped up here because this is something that I know I do. Reflection allows us to take the latter perspective. Pride allows us to take the first perspective. No, I can't do that. Why? Because I'm working to change that. There's no way that can be me. If we focus on protecting ourselves and our image, brothers and sisters, we will get lost in the mess. In one reading I came across, Imam Jafar al-Siddiq, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him, cited the Prophet of Islam sallallahu alayhi wasallam as saying, when speaking about the Prophet Musa alayhi salam, it said that in this particular narration, it said that Musa alayhi salam asked Shaitan, tell me about the sin of which, when the son of Adam commits it, you overtake him. Meaning Shaitan, he overtakes him. Shaitan replied, it is when he is proud of himself and he thinks too much of his good deeds and his sin looks small in his eyes. How many of us, when we're reminded of the thing that we did that offended someone else, we say, but I don't know all of these things, and we have a list of 30 things that we did right. Yeah, but this thing that you did wrong, yeah, but no, I did all these other things right. So we have a full list, and we list off all of the good things we did, but when we are confronted with the bad thing that we did, let's put that to the side. And we think that Shaitan is not happy with that. Who are we benefiting in that moment? What are we doing in that moment? How are we getting closer to Allah in that moment? This is further compounded or further supported by the narration of Al-Harith bin Suwaid, where he says what? That the believer is someone who sees himself, who sees his sins as though they were a mountain, and you've heard me say this many times, as though they were a mountain about to crush him. And the one who transgresses, or the sinner, is the one who sees his sins as though it was a fly flying about his nose. This is what pride causes, brothers and sisters. Reflection is a thing that allows the one who sins, or the believer, to see his sins as though they were this big thing that can catch him at any time. The absence of reflection is a thing that causes us to see all of our wrongdoing as small specks of dust that we can ignore. Pride, brothers and sisters, is that thing that can block us from seeing the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, irrespective of how the sign comes to us. The sign might come to you from a common man, quote unquote, on the street. You're walking down the street, you're doing something. Somebody who does not look Muslim, or who looks homeless, ask you for something, you say no, but because you look Muslim, this person says, are you Muslims supposed to be generous? And our response is, what can you teach me about Islam? Would that have not been a sign from Allah to remind us about our Islam? And look at our response, as though we are better than that person. Brothers and sisters, virtues, according to one writer, are the doors to paradise. Pride blocks entry to those doors. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us that, and I'm paraphrasing, when we hear the signs of Allah, it is important for us to respond. And those who do not respond, they are some of the worst of the creatures that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. I'll make one point very quickly and then I will stop. The second reason that pride prevents reflection, brothers and sisters, is because pride prevents tawbah and gratitude. Pride is a barrier to tawbah and gratitude. It was narrated by Anas that the Prophet Muhammad said, "Kullu bani Adama khata'un, wa khayrul khata'ina at-tawwabuna." All the sons of Adam are sinners. The best of the sinners are those who do what? Who repent often. Pride causes us, brothers and sisters, to ignore the need for tawbah. If I see myself as good, if I see myself as way up here, if I see my sins as small like this, why do I need to make tawbah? Why do I need to make tawbah often? I'll make tawbah once a year, I'll make tawbah once a month. That's cool. How? When? Where are we getting that from? How often are we encouraged to make tawbah? Every single Friday. The Imam stand here and we say what? Brothers and sisters, make tawbah. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those who return to Him often. Because there is a consistent need to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Gratitude is important, brothers and sisters, because it is in the acknowledgement that everything, every single thing we have is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us in His glorious Quran, فَبِأَيِّ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. Which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? In Surah Al-Rahman, He goes through a whole list of reminders for us. A whole list of reminders. And consistently in that surah, He asks us, which of these blessings are we going to deny? And it's only the person who is proud and fails to reflect when we read that surah that we don't stop and reflect on all of these blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. Brothers and sisters, I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives our sins. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases us in gratitude. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to be patient and to reflect on the mercies and the blessing that He subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. The sad reality, brothers and sisters, most of us are ungrateful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us in His glorious Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وقليل من عبادي يا شكور. Few are the truly grateful among my servants. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases in gratitude and forgives our sins. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر لي ولكم. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Brothers and sisters, there was a lot more that I wanted to say today. There's a lot more that I wanted to say on privilege and how many of us grew up in privilege. And how many of us have privilege. And the issue with privilege, whether it be a racial privilege, whether it be white privilege, whether it be economic privilege or any type of privilege, is not the fact that you have privilege. Allah gives us that. It is when this privilege allows us, or when we use this privilege to create a certain amount of iniquity, wrongdoing, and inequity, unevenness in our societies. Try and institute. This is when privilege becomes an issue. And reflection prevents us from acknowledging. Reflection allows us to see when we have privilege and what we can do to help others with that privilege that we have. Brothers and sisters, in closing, I want to leave us with an action plan. As I started off, I said I want us to increase our reflection in this from now moving forward. I want us to increase our ability to reflect. And one of the ways we increase our ability to reflect is by fighting that thing inside of us of kibr or pride. When we are charged with something, one of the first things that we have, the dua, is the thing that we have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I want to encourage us to make a dua. This dua is especially important when we are being praised for something, and it's a dua that I love in particular. And the dua, so I'll just say the English for now. If anybody needs the Arabic to say it in Arabic, we can do that afterwards. The English is basically, oh Allah, make me better than what they think of me, forgive me for what they do not know about me, and do not take me to account for what they say about me. This dua is a very powerful dua, brothers and sisters. It is a very powerful dua. And it's one that we should keep in our back pockets all the time. The other thing I want to say is something that I read from somebody recently. Pray that you do not fall in love with power and leadership. I am not saying to pray that you never become a leader or you never get power. I am saying pray that you never fall in love with leadership or with power. Because if we do that, we have started down a very slippery slope and we've gone into a territory where it will be very hard to pull away from. And if you find yourself in a position where you love that leadership role or you love that power role, fight against that feeling. And if you cannot fight against that feeling, I urge you to give up that position. If that feeling of leadership and power is what motivates you and makes you feel that you are better than others, give up the position, brothers and sisters. That position might be the position that takes you to the hellfire. Increase your charity, brothers and sisters. Whatever you think you're doing now, find a way to do more. Make tawbah. I've said this before and I'll say it again. And do a good deed for someone. A good deed that you have no benefit or you have no direct benefit from. Do a good deed for someone, for anyone. Brothers and sisters, we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses, guides and protects all the brothers and sisters around the world who are struggling in His cause. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to alleviate the plight and suffering of Muslims all around the world, whether it be in Syria, in Palestine, in any parts of Africa, in any parts of Europe, in any parts of America. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alleviates the suffering of Muslims all around the world and of His creation in general all around the world. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases us in patience. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects us from incompetence and cowardice. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases us in the ability to be grateful. Allahumma ajirna min al-nar, Allahumma ajirna min al-nar, Allahumma ajirna min al-nar, Rabbana atina fi dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us in His glorious Quran, Inna Allahumma wa malaikatu yusalluna ala nabi, ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, kama sallayta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim, innaka hamidun majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, كما باركت إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وأقيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة